This How You Doing event is a special one for us all. And I'd like to take a second here to talk about something that many of you are aware of, and many of you may not be aware of what happened, a great thing that happened in our facility that I think is an example of what How You Doing is all about. As you know, we operate as one big family. We work in close proximity to each other, long hours, putting on the great events that we do, and certainly we all become close to each other, and I know many of you, as I do, consider all of us a family outside of our own home. Many of you know Matt Deaton and Tim Jones, who work in our operations department. About 15 years ago, Matt's dad, Ken, was diagnosed, and I'm going to read this here so I don't butcher it, with polycystic kidney disease. Polycystic kidney disease is a life-threatening genetic disease that affects the kidneys. In 2007, Ken, Matt's dad, was informed that the disease was progressing and becoming increasingly more debilitating and would be necessary for a kidney transplant. At that time, Matt's family started the process of searching for a donor. And there were several options that, you know, as each one came, each one would tend to fall through. And that certainly would be a trial and a tribulation that I can't imagine. In 2008, one of our employees, Tim Jones, who works with Matt on a day in and day out basis, approached Matt and said, "Hey, I would like to be tested to see if maybe I could be considered as a donor." Matt's told this to me, you know, time and time again. His first response was, "No, we'll take care of it. We'll figure it out." But as donors backed out, or as options fell through, Tim Jones was persistent in his willingness to want to help. So Tim Jones started the process of being checked out to see if indeed he could be a donor. And it was a long process. There were a lot of sacrifices that Tim had to make to get there. But at the end of the day, Tim Jones was found to be an acceptable match and an acceptable donor. So Tim made several trips to the Mayo Clinic. He did a lot of checkups and testing, a lot of other physical hardships he had to go through to get ready. And on October 21st, last October 2009, Ken Deaton, Matt's dad, successfully had transplant surgery, and Tim Jones was that donor. Certainly, this is an amazing story of friendship, amazing story of selfless service. And we wanted to honor that and recognize that. And there have been many who have helped us along the way. When Tim came back to work, he was back at work a few weeks after the surgery. He was still recovering. We had a lot of people who stepped up to help in that process as he came back. One of those that I'd like to recognize is Sean Jenkins. Sean, are you here? There he is. Sean, can you stand up for us? Sean Jenkins is the owner of Segway of Ohio. And we've been partners with Sean on several occasions. We've used his Segways for a lot of things. And Sean wanted to help, and he donated free of charge to us to use, for Tim to use, a Segway. So when Tim came back, He didn't have to walk the huge corridors and the big halls. He got to zoom around on a Segway. And I wanted to thank Sean for that. I think Tim's recovery took a little long because he got a little comfortable in that Segway, zooming around. I wanted to recognize, and it's important to note, certainly, that the transplant was successful, and Ken has made a complete recovery and is back, as they say, to his old self. And I'd like Ken to stand up and be recognized. This is Matt's dad, Ken Beaton. Joining Ken is Matt's mother, Kathy. And his sister, Sister Rebecca. Grandmother Jean. And last but certainly not least, Uncle Brad.